Hey fellow gamers, Chatty Sisa here. Welcome to the next episode of Chatty Friday. I have a couple of topics prepared for you this time. Not one specific one, although I think I will be going a little bit more into detail on the Game Awards. By the way, I hope you can hear me well. I am looking at my OBS screen and it seems that the microphone is picking up well, so I hope you have the sound as well, okay? I have opened the chat window again on the screen, so please don't hesitate to talk to me, leave me some comments. I would love to get some more interaction with you, and I will definitely react to the comments. I just noticed that there is a little time lag, so when you post your comment, it might not be that you get an immediate answer, so sometimes it takes a bit longer, but just be patient, please. There are a few topics aside from the Game Awards, which I have also mentioned on my Twitter page. Might be actually good to switch to that one and show you the topics that I have prepared aside from the Game Awards. And there's a ton of pages open, you will notice that. So yeah, there's a lot to be discussed. I'm not sure how long it will take this time, but hopefully you will have fun watching this, even if you are just watching the recording. So let me switch the screens. Good. Let me go to this one. And let me go to this one. And yeah, I think I should have put my face in there, but okay. I hope you can see the screen. Let me just quickly check. Yeah, you should be able. So there are a few other topics. Exodus and its Discord server, the book info, which is related to Exodus. There were a couple of discussions related to that. Then a bit of fun info on Veilguard. So we have something related to Dragon Age the Veilguard. Not that much. I really don't want to talk that much anymore about the game, but it is inevitable because it will be connected to the Game Awards. And then we have a couple of mentions about the indie games, so something on top that I would like to highlight. And then also maybe some Christmas gifts ideas and open discussion. I do have something that I have found just very briefly before the before this live stream. It was related to The Witcher, so this might be interesting for you as well. Let me just maybe quickly switch back to the screens and let me see if I can find in OBS a better setting where you can see my face in there. I was a little bit not having that much time this time to prepare everything that I wanted, unfortunately. Yeah, so you can see me now. I didn't really have that much time to prepare everything, unfortunately. It's been quite a busy week. I did have a couple of interviews, I will be honest. So yeah, it was a lot of preparation as well for that. And then I'm still not 100% okay. I was a little bit sick. You've probably noticed last week I did write that I cannot post the vid on Friday. You can still hear it on my voice. And I was then happy just to basically finish it because I only needed to do some editing and I really didn't have anything to do with the voice recording, thankfully, because over the weekend I almost lost my voice. It wasn't really so great. And I had like a full nose, so it wouldn't really sound so great. Yeah. So hopefully you did enjoy the last bit, which was about zombieware. But yeah, let's go to that topic also a little bit later. And again, I've noticed something behind me. So in case you're wondering, yes, that's the cats with zoomies. I have to keep the door a little bit ajar for those that are new here and don't know that. So yeah, I have a few pets. And if I just lock them out of this room, it would be non-stop scratching on the door, and I don't think it would be so great during the live stream. So I just keep the door a little bit ajar so they can go back and forth and they don't scratch on the door, which also means that we probably might get some zoomies, cat zoomies as well. It happens. Yeah, so just FYI, a small warning. Yeah, there is one in the background. And John is here. Hi, John. Nice to see you here. I'm glad you could join. Thanks a lot. And yeah, let me check because I wanted to see if I can get like a scene where my face is on the desktop, and I think there is. I just forgot to like unlock my face there. And yeah, you should be able to see me now, hopefully, on the screen. Good, because I will be working with the screen quite a lot today. So just a quick recap in case you have missed it. So I have a couple of topics, and as you can see, let me just let me switch to the screen. So yeah, we have a couple of topics and a ton of windows open. So yeah, it's it will be interesting. Good. Let me go to the first one, which is the Game Awards. Well, the Game Awards, before we start with that, we have seen that there has been a Golden Joystick Award as well in the meantime. And the difference between the Golden Joystick Awards, which are UK based as far as I know, and the Game Awards, which will happen in December and are US based, is that the UK based awards is basically, let's say, listening more to the gamers. So what I could see and read about it, if you look at the wiki page, it says actually that it's been running since 1983 for 41 years. Jeez. So yeah, it's been a very long time, much longer than the Game Awards. And it is also the like People's Gaming Award. So it's really taking the feedback from the gamers, and it's putting a bigger emphasis on what the gamers are enjoying, which games, and that's reflected as well in the nominations and then as well in the winners. There is of course some feedback also from the game journalists, but it is it is more than with the Game Awards, where it's actually less, and I will go into that topic a little bit as well. The nominations for the Games Awards have already dropped as well in the meantime. And we have seen that Black Me Wukong and Stellar Blade has been between the nominees, also Astrobot. And that was something that many people were saying, well, we'll see if it's even being nominated, because it's not exactly, let's say, fulfilling the ideas of, DEI. And these games are like not putting an emphasis on all of these stuff. And the journalists usually do nominate games that do fulfill these, let's say, DEI requirements. So there was a big question mark, and thankfully, actually, they were, to my surprise, I will be honest, nominated, because I didn't expect it. So it looks like, something's changing. And if you look back at the winners of the Golden Joysticks Awards, I think it's a good a good idea. It gives you a good idea of what might happen with the Game Awards as well, because usually like the awards are a little bit mirroring each other. And if you look, there's Black Me Wukong here as well. It is actually the Ultimate Game of the Year. It's at the bottom. So it did win the Ultimate Game of the Year. There's Astrobot a couple of times, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth a couple of times. So there is a lot of games, or many games, which many people were even doubting that they would be like nominated, but they were huge successes. And like I said, the UK-based awards pay more attention to that, so not really that surprising to me that they are reflected here. What was surprising to me were the nominations for the Game Awards, which actually also did like mirror this and showed these same games almost. So okay, I was positively surprised, like I said. And let me just switch back to maybe to this screen a little bit to see. Yeah, John is writing, we just started freezing freezing temperatures weather, so my cat is either asleep in the warmest spot or zooming all over. Yeah. I have noticed that there is like a lot of snowfall in some of the countries. Thankfully, not here. I have to say, thankfully, because I would have to shovel the snow, which is not so great. Yeah, so thankfully we don't have it here yet, and it would be also like a complete mess on the roads. So I'm happy that we don't have it. But yeah, I have seen it. It's already there in a couple of places in the UK and in the US in certain areas. So I do not envy you. Whenever I see this, I tell myself, yeah, when I'm old and retired, I will move to a very, very warm spot. Somewhere where it's like perpetual summer. Yeah, I know it's ideal, but yeah. So just to that one. Let me go back to the Game Awards. So one thing which was very surprising to me, why it was so surprising to me that some of the games were actually nominated, was this thing. I'm not sure if you can see it, probably not so much, but I will give you a better screenshot. I will try to make it bigger. According to the official website of the Game Awards, and these are the Game Awards that Geoff Keighley is running, so you might have noticed that. The opinion of the fans counts in the selection of the winners, but the value of their vote is much smaller than that of the jury. The jury's decision counts for 90%, and 10% is basically the gamer's vote. And I find it absolutely horrible, to be honest, because if you look at who's in that jury, there's mainly journalists, gaming journalists, and we all know how they are. I mean, we have seen it especially now with Dragon Age: The Veilguard. I do not trust a single one of them because they give awesome reviews for Veilguard, which, in my opinion, absolutely flopped. And they gave terrible rating to, for example, Black Myth Wukong. And, they were also screaming that Stellar Blade is completely sexist and whatever. And these people are there. And then you have LA Times. It could have there as well, any other journalists. These are not even gaming journalists. It's the LA Times, right? Variety. What are these people doing here, right? So, and the problem is their ideas or their views count for 90%. So even if, I don't know, 1 million people will be voting for Black Myth Wukong as the game of the year, it will just only account for 10% of the final vote. So if majority of these people here, a selected few, will say that the game of the year is something completely different, then the players or the gamers' voices will not count at all. So, yeah, I don't really have a great meaning about the separation of, or the percentage of the journalists and the gamers. So I do not really trust the Game Awards, and I think this was a big discussion point as well a couple of days ago already, before the nominees even dropped. So we do have the nominees as well, and I would like to go through the nominees as well. Let me just quickly switch back to OBS to see. SnackishRaccoon is here. Hi, I'm so happy to see you here. I have one of your vids here. I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to show that one because I would like to do some promo for your channel a little bit. And John, you're in Minnesota. Yeah, it's quite cold there, right? I think that's usually having cold winters. You would be very welcome here in Greece. Oh, I actually plan to go to southern Spain, to be honest, because at least Spanish it's a little bit easier, I think, to learn than Greek, but I might rethink it, It's always nice to have some friends there. So yeah, those jurors. Yeah, it's just I don't trust them. I mean, I'm not sure if you have seen the nominees. I will just quickly show you for a couple of I will not go through all of the nominees. I will just show you a couple of categories which I think are important. But what I think is very strange this year, for me at least, is that they have even started to nominate DLCs like DLCs in some of the categories. Instead of making a separate category, technically, I think Shadow of what was it? Shadow of R3. I will check it out. So there is a DLC nominated for Game of the Year, and I think it's like, this is crazy, because technically you can have a game that could win Game of the Year in 1 year. In the next year, they would make a DLC. That DLC could again win Game of the Year, technically. And then 2 years or 3 years later, they could make another DLC and technically again be Game of the Year, which is nonsense because there's just one game, right? So I think they should have made a separate category, to be honest, for the DLCs. I don't know why they did it this way. I think it's just, again, because they are trying to give some awards, at least like some award somewhere to a game where the people will not scream that much. So they have their own pick and they would like to give someone some award, and that's why they just made up this category. At least that's my impression. But yeah, let me switch to the nominees. And we have a couple of categories. I mean, there's a lot. What I usually don't really care about, to be honest, is the esports. I'm not really following that. But yeah, Game of the Year. And here, to my big surprises, I said Black Myth Wukong is here. Yeah, oh yeah, Elden Ring Shadow of the Earth. So that's a DLC. That's not a game. Game is Elden Ring, so why would they do this, right? And also Astrobot is here. I think that one was very strong during the year, and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And also I think I've also had a mention of the Metaphor Refantasio by one of my viewers, and someone was saying that the game is actually really good, so I might check one out. I might check this one out. So I'm really interested now because I see it's in the Game of the Year category. I don't know what it's about. I will be honest. I didn't have the time to check it out. But yeah, it's actually a good, good variation of games, and I think so this year it's very hard to pick one. I will be honest. I think Black Myth Wukong was like one of the most played as well. I think it was really like the game of the year for many people. But Astrobot, I think it's like a very close second together with Final Fantasy. So I'm looking forward to see. I will probably vote later as well, but I will be honest, because I have not played these games. I will just quickly check them out and see what the reviews are, and then maybe give my vote there. What is the other thing which I wanted to mention, and that is the really fun one, was of course where do we have it? Innovation in accessibility. And yeah, look what we have there. The flop of the year. I can't believe this. I seriously can't believe this. Dragon Age the Veilguard is here, okay? And also Star Wars Outlaws. Good. Let's just say the category is not exactly related to the quality of the game. It's innovation in accessibility. But from what I heard from many other people online, they are all saying that a ton of the other games which came out this year had like better innovations in accessibility than some of the games nominated here. Definitely not Dragon Age the Veilguard. So at least that's what I have read. I don't know. Again, I cannot compare because I did not play the other games, whether it's Call of Duty or Prince of Persia or Star Wars Outlaws. So I'm not sure. I don't know what your opinion is. I will just quickly switch back to OBS just to see. Oh yeah, you have written a ton. Okay, so let me just. Okay, so yeah, SnackishRaccoon, that's related to the language. I get that the language would be a major problem. At least Spanish is a Latin-based language, so much easier for the rest of Europeans to learn. Yeah, the only thing I know in Greek is parakalo and evcharisto. Yes, but I had a nice vacation many years ago in Greece, so it's not a bad idea. Yeah, John is saying they nominated a mobile card game. Exactly. So there's kind of like a weird composition of these games. Like, I don't know, some games I don't think should be in one of these categories, or some of these categories, or they should have like a separate category. I don't know. I mean, at this point, I think many people are just happy that the, let's say, more popular games really have been nominated, and we'll see how we end up with the winners, who will be actually the winners then. Tekla, I hope I'm reading the name well. They should have transparent voting too. I don't know why the editors from those outlets don't be ashamed of your vote. Yeah, but and my point is more like, it's just a couple of people. And these games have been bought like by millions of people worldwide, and their vote is only counting 10%. And then a couple of selected few have 90% of the vote. I think that's crazy. That should be the other way around, to be honest, or at least, I don't know, 70-30 or 80-20 or something like that, but not like in favor of the gamers, not in favor of the journalists, right? So yeah, I really don't think that this is like a fair reflection of what the gamers like, to be honest. Yeah, you can always just visit on vacation. As for the Game Awards, I am so tired of those clowns. I just watch it for the orchestra performances and game announcement nowadays. Yes, exactly. That's why I was also actually watching it last year, because I was wondering about the new games that they were like showing for the first time. And that's where we actually got to see Exodus for the first time last year on the Game Awards, if you remember. So I am really looking forward if we get maybe a little bit more information on Exodus this year, because I think they said that we will see in December more info. They were like very careful in saying something, but they were like hinting at December from Exodus or from Archetype. So I really hope that during the Game Awards we might be able to see maybe like more vids, maybe some gameplay. I don't know. I would love to see some more gameplay, to be honest. BioWare's participation ribbon, that's from John. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, exactly. Tekla, Veilguard, the special kid in the class, gets my vote. Yes, special kid in the class. Yeah, that was fitting. Yeah. SnackishRaccoon, see, the arachnophobia got them a nomination after all. Yeah, exactly. They removed all the spiders, right? Yeah, I think that's the accessibility. That might be it, actually. EA ran out of money for Dragon Age the Veilguard and only got the accessibility nominations. Yeah, sounds about right. John is writing, Tekla is a barmaid at That Man's Drink also. Okay. And Tekla, but it would be funny to bot Concord to the first place just for lols. Oh yeah, I mean, come on, Concord, that was like a disaster. I don't think there was a bigger disaster this year than Concord, to be honest. So and there was actually something also funny which I wanted to show you. Let me go back again to the screen. Where is it? I have it somewhere. Yeah, here. So somebody made like a DEI flop of the year, flop of the year. And Concord is there, of course. Yeah, of course, this is a joke. But yeah, I think all the games are here which we really perceive as flops this year. So they are there. And of course, Dragon Age the Veilguard too. So yeah, it would be nice if this would be actually a category. Yeah, so let me switch back a little bit. Skyrim, John is writing. Okay, what do you mean with Skyrim? Like, would you like to have it nominated again for if they would make maybe some DLC again or something? SnackishRaccoon, honestly, this would be very difficult to vote on. Yeah, this category. I don't know who would be the winner for me, to be honest. There's way too many of those which would deserve the title. Yeah, they are all awful. I mean, yeah, every single one, I think, for the most part, for the writing, Although I think Star Wars Outlaws is not so bad in writing as much as it was buggy. At least that was my impression from what I have heard and seen. It was quite buggy. And I think people were complaining that it's like non-stop sneaking. So basically you had just missions where you had to sneak around, and the moment that your cover was blown, you had to start to repeat the entire sequence or the entire mission, which was crap, of course. Yeah, so they have changed it now in the latest patch, which I have seen. That you don't have to sneak anymore. Like when your cover is blown, then you can start shooting basically, but you don't have to repeat the mission, which is great. Finally, yeah. Okay, SnackishRaccoon. Honestly, this would be very difficult to vote on. Yeah, they are all awful. Tekla is in Skyrim. I'm rambling. Okay, good. Yeah, I think it was Tekla was also the spider which was in oh good lord, I'm not even sure how to if you know this, that was in Europe and in the German speaking countries. There was like a kids TV show which was called like the Bee Maya, and there was, I think, a spider which was called Tekla, if I remember it correctly. So yeah, might be one as well. Why are all the spiders getting the name Tekla? Tell me. Dead Man's Drink is a place from Skyrim. Okay. So that's coming from Tekla now. Okay. I hope you're not a spider, sorry. Kane is here. Hi. Yeah, it's nice. And John, yeah. It's nice to see you all here. Tekla this. Good. Even if you are a spider, you are welcome. Even though I have an arachnophobia, I don't mind. I don't have a problem with spiders, so don't worry. Laughingly, Skyrim is beating Veilguard most mornings on most played. Yeah. I mean, you've mentioned this, John, right? That you are playing like Skyrim for many years already. I know if you have like a game which you really love and which like really has so much potential that you just can continue, being immersed in that world. It's very hard to find another game which is like coming any close to that one. So I think everybody has like this one specific game, that is very hard to beat. Yeah. Let me go back because, like I said, I have a ton of other things. Over $1 billion were spent on those games altogether. Such embarrassment. That's from Kenya. Exactly. Now that you are mentioning it, that's the worst part. I mean, you have games in front of you which were like costly to make. I don't think we have yet the confirmation on the Dragon Age the Veilguard, like how much was it costing, because for just for now we have the estimates. But Concord was for like 400 million or something, or was it Dustborn? I mean, those were huge numbers, and yeah, if you add it all together, yeah, that's a huge loss for the industry, definitely. Yeah, John is writing 400 mods, help. I'm not sure if I would want to have like 400 mods in a game. I'm not sure if my computer would actually make it like 400 mods in a game. Oof, okay. Yeah, let me go back to that one. And yeah, there's one more thing which I wanted to show you. So aside from the like problematic, let's say, split of the voices, like 10% and 90%, which we have in the Game Awards. The next problem is that, Smash JT was highlighting this, that basically Geoff Keighley, who's running the Game Awards, was trying to get the name or the words Game Awards trademarked. And this is something which is not so great because it's like basically very common. It's like a combination of two very common words, and I was comparing it in this post, as you can see, like to a cooking pot or rocking chair. Now imagine somebody would trademark cooking pot, and you would try to explain to somebody how to cook something, and you could not use the words cooking pot because they are trademarked. Like, that's crazy. Come on. I mean, if he would at least like name it in some different way or add something, I don't know, Geoff Keighley's Game Awards or something, then okay, it would make sense. He wants to trademark it, but just the Game Awards, like nobody else would be able to use the combination of these two words then for any awards in the future. I find this crazy. So yeah, I'm not really fond of this idea that what he's now trying to do. And I think many people were writing like, this is crazy. So yeah, you can see my opinion here as well. I did post it. And now that we are at this point, one thing which I wanted to highlight, because I wasn't sure, like there are some categories which I said, which I have seen where I don't really know the games, but I'm following Doug Cockle on Twitter. I really like him as a voice actor, and not just because Geralt, but yes, he's doing also some other stuff, and I really like what he's doing. And he was actually working on this game, which is the Closer the Distance, and they are games in the Games for Impact category. So I will probably like listen to him and probably go voting for that one, but I have to check it out. So yeah, I think this is a good info, so I'm definitely going to have a look at that game. And then what is also something that was happening after the nominations were announced for the Game Awards was that basically all of the journalists, which keep in mind have this 90% of voting rights in the Game Awards, were like starting to slander Black Myth Wukong. And you can see like the post here. It's just crazy. I mean, this is really crazy. So basically, it's not the game was nominated for Game of the Year just to avoid, some big fallout from the gamers. And afterwards, the game journals couldn't really otherwise, and they just had to start slandering the game because they're not happy that it's being even there in the nominees. Yeah, it's very controversial for me at this point. The Game Awards are really just very, very controversial, to be honest. So yeah, well, we went through this, and then, oh yeah, that's the next one. So let me just go back and maybe read a couple of points which you have written. SnackishRaccoon, can you imagine if the OG EDA team had the money and a decade worth of time? Yeah, Dragon Age, the Veilguard. I mean, that's the problem. The original people have all left. Sorry, my nose is still running. My apologies. So yeah, I can imagine these people, if they would have a decade and that amount of money, I think they would make an awesome game if it would be really the original people who have created Dragon Age, the Veilguard. It would be great from the writing perspective. I think it would be great also, like still visually, but it would be, I think they would go more towards the, let's say, more realistic route, I think. And then I don't think we would see such stupid dialogues, and definitely the story would be, let's say, more cohesive. So, and a different combat. I think they would go back probably to a little bit more tactical. I'm not saying to the original one, because many people didn't like the original one, but nevertheless, I think it would be more tactical than what it is right now. It's basically just some hack and slash action game. Yeah, I'm not sure I want to imagine this, because if I would imagine this, I would start to cry. So, yeah. Tekla is writing, I bought Baldur's Gate 2 for $5, and I hope it helps BioWare with upcoming unemployment. Okay. Good. I think that was a good note. Side note, yeah, that was a good remark. I like that one. SnackishRaccoon, we got this slop instead, and I feel so betrayed. Not just you. I think there's a lot of people who have just basically given up on BioWare at this point. No, Zombieware. Sorry. I have to start to call them Zombieware. John is writing, at the very least, a legendary update like Mass Effect. Yes, but I think they already mentioned that as well. They are not even able to do like in legendary edition for the first 3 games because the people that have left also took with them the knowledge about the original game engine and the original setup of the game, like, the coding behind it. And I think that it was stated by Epler, by John Epler, I'm not sure, that there are currently only about maybe 20 people at BioWare who still remember all the coding and everything behind it. And I don't think that they would be able to create that legendary edition. And to be honest, I remember the legendary edition for the original trilogy. People said yeah, it's a remaster, it's visually better and so on, but they did change some stuff. And let me say it right away, if you remember, there were some close-ups of Miranda's ass in Mass Effect 2 in the original one, and in the legendary edition, they are all removed. So they already did some, I don't want to say woke changes, but yeah, some people probably advised them to remove this because it's too controversial. And I am afraid that even if they would be able at this point to do a legendary edition for Dragon Age, the first 3 games, it would just end up that way. And in that case, I am actually rather happy that they cannot touch it and they don't have the knowledge to do that, because it would be just probably, again, problematic for some gamers, because we would see some changes, I'm pretty sure. SnackishRaccoon, lol, Tekla, I hope they are all fired and never get to touch a beloved franchise ever again. Yes, that's actually my hope at this point as well, to be honest. Tekla, games for impact is a weird category because almost no one heard about those games, so did they really do so much impact? I don't think I am not even sure how they describe this category. I would really have to dig into that one, to be honest. Something that might be actually worth posting an update on later. I don't know what they think is the impact. Is it an impact on the gamers? Is it an impact on the industry by the game or the studio, or I don't know. It's a good question, to be honest, yeah. Tekla, Plasno Dustborn, which done the most impact? Yes, not in a good sense, to be honest. I think they only nominated it since Joystick had nominated it, and it has even won. And like you said, gamers would go off on them as Black Myth was the most successful game this year. That's from SnackishRaccoon. Yeah, definitely. I think they are a little bit scared because of the what's going on, especially in the past couple of weeks and months. People are really already protesting against this woke slop and nonsense, and I think they were scared if they just continue the same way as they did before, then people would just completely disregard these awards and nobody would even care about it anymore, and then they would just lose the audience. And I think they're a little bit afraid of that, for sure. Kane, Veilguard is such a letdown, huge disappointment. It almost feels nefarious and intentional how bad it is. Intentional, that's something where I actually already also thought about it. They really, with some of the dialogues and some of the scenes, you really had the feeling somebody just put it there just to annoy the gamers. To own the chats as usually the woke people are saying. So yeah, I have the same feeling. Some parts of the game must have been with intention done the way that they were. Yeah, impact equals strongest message. Tekla. I don't know. I will check it out. Yeah. John is writing, they worship Lizzo's bottom, but Miranda's is problematic. Exactly. I mean, yeah. But, it's not the right... Miranda's ass is not the right kind of body positivity that they would like to push. So I think, yeah, you are right. Good. Talking about Veilguard, there was one post which I had a good laugh about. Look at the picture on the right side. I was laughing my ass off when I have seen this. I have also sent this to Nure. As you can see, like that picture on the right. Somebody who did this was like spot on. This one is really great. And then also SnackishRaccoon, actually, you have posted it. That was the fun. Let me play the audio as well. Let me just stop it and let me play the audio for you, but I have to put on the headset. And I hope that you will be able to hear it. Let me just quickly check if we have the sound on. Yeah, we do. Okay.
You made Tash so happy, Rook. They could be themselves with you. And I
could just Tash.
Feel it. I saw the small knowing smile when she looked at you.
She
there was a secret
barf.
The two of you shared. You made Tash so happy, Rook. They could be themselves with you. And I could just feel it. I saw the small knowing smile when she looked at you. Like there was a secret.
Good. So I hope you did hear that, because this one made me laugh. Thanks for posting, SnackishRaccoon, actually. Exactly, they were just doing this for virtue signaling and nothing else, because if they would really mean it, they wouldn't do this mistake. Seriously, yeah, this is just the worst crap that I have seen. I will keep on the headset because we have something else coming up. Let me just check the newest messages. Kane, yes, exactly. It feels like revenge in some way. Exactly. John is writing, I had to Google chat. I just, noticed that I also had to Google it, to be honest, simply because it's not my native language, so I wasn't sure. But yeah, it's generally like meant towards the male population of the gamers who are not woke, I would say. Yeah. It's the same picture. Nice big triggered. Yes, it's the same picture, yeah. Busted Tash quest designer was virtue signaling. Exactly. So yeah, that one was, when I've seen it, I had a good laugh, yeah. I mean, it tells you also something about the Q&A of the game. If you are having a final product before you are releasing it, you have Q&A going through it and some test players. Somebody should have noticed this, at least somebody from that Vogue brigade working on that game. I would have expected them to notice this. Nah, it just slipped through, so yeah. Says a lot, I think. They did such a shallow job of including others that even the people from the crowd yelled at BioWare for it. And Tekla writes, Chodette would be the female version. Okay, so in that case, I'm a proud Chodette. Let me take a short drink. And in the meantime, I'm going to show you, I hope you don't mind, SnackishRaccoon, if you are still here, I hope you don't mind. It is one of your vids. And guys, I would need to just show you this because it's definitely worth checking out that channel. Yeah, you are here. I can see that they were frankly people who said that Dragon Age the Veilguard was still not inclusive enough because none of the companions are aromantic. Yes, exactly. If you would want to like fulfill all of the requirements, you would have to have a ton of companions because obviously you need more and more and more people with various degrees of this gender nonsense to have added. So yeah, but let me go to that vid. Guys, if you have some time and you haven't seen the channel, the YouTube channel from SnackishRaccoon, I'm going to play one vid and I definitely advise you to check out the entire channel. It's really fun. So yeah, let me show you that vid. And like I said, I hope you don't mind. And I hope you are going to hear it. I love the editing here.
Is it done then?
Chatida.
It is done.
The fact that we all know what's going to happen. Start giving me money.
Zaldrizes buzdaris kosdaor. Nige daineres gel masmo hentad gerio lentrot. En Valeria wepoana garixan. Valeria munioengos nuihis isa. Dova gevi. Axiosentas, mentiosentas. Kiloni pilos lue vale tolviosenetas. Inini odrigatas. Urnei lue dolide prisotas. Dracaris.
I have to laugh every time I see this. I will never see this scene from Game of Thrones the same way. I'm crying. This end scene is perfect. Okay, I do hope that you did enjoy this one. Let me just quickly change the scene. And let me just go back to the screen here, maybe for a while. I did, like, really, I had the laugh every time when I'm seeing it. I have a laugh, but the first time I was just lying. This is such a great editing, awesome. And the idea in general, like, I love it, seriously, so this is really great. So yeah, guys, SnackishRaccoon is here, and also please go and check out the channel. There's really a ton of great baits, so I really advise you to do that. I am already a subscriber, so I'm really always looking forward to the next bit. And thanks for this one, it's really awesome. And yeah, I can see that there's a debate going on. I don't mind, on the contrary. I thank you for giving my videos a chance and also giving me a shout out. Yeah, I love to do that because I do find so many like great people out there with smaller or bigger channels, whether it's here on YouTube or whether it's on you know, X, formerly Twitter. So there are so many like great people out there who are doing such great content or have like good notes and remarks and everything. So I really love to do these kind of shout outs because they really deserve it. Also, that's why I'm also doing these like indie games shout outs, because I really like some of the games which I see, which the indie games are doing. And I think they deserve like more promo. And, you know, they are not big companies. They don't have that much money to get that promotion. So, yeah, I definitely hope this helps. That's why I also picked this vid, because it was just so awesome. Tekla is writing, we all know Tash was smelling harding hard. Yes, John is writing, Nura has done a few nice lore vids now without swearing. Lol. Yes, exactly. But I actually like the lore vids because it is a change to the streams. She's mainly a streamer, but she wanted to do also some like pre-recorded vids. I think it's the opposite of like people like me. For example, I prefer to do like pre-recorded vids, and I'm just not streaming so often, and she's only streaming most of the time. But if you really want to go deep into a lore, and if you would like to introduce something, it's better to have like a script and pre-record the vid and introduce it this way. And I have to say, she's doing really a great job. So I really like those vids. I actually wrote already a note that she's doing a great job. So yeah, we are in contact about that. Tekla is writing elaborate analogy. Ulmao, at this point, that could still make sense as they come up with different terms, genders, etc. every day. Yes, exactly. Yeah, so I see now positive reviews or reactions to the vid. Yeah, this is clever. Modern audience. That one was like where I started to really laugh, like modern audience help. That was great. Yeah, it was like really, really nicely done. I honestly had so much fun making this one. It felt cathartic. Yeah. Okay, let me just skip. People who bought it and liked it feel all too obliged to share their deep satisfaction from playing this crap. There are also those who get super pissed at anyone who even uses the word woke. Yes, exactly. So everybody who's like mentioning that something's woke is being called, you know, chat and grifter and I don't know, anti-woke crowd or whatever. Yeah, all these people are getting like quite pissed about it. And yeah. They all now moved to Blue Sky, where they are in their own little nice echo chamber. Yeah, I'm not going into the detail now because there is something which I want to show you later. So yeah, there will be a little bit of talk about, let's say, this kind of people too. John is writing, impressive. All I can do is scribble on a screenshot with a red crayon. John, never mind. I mean, you're not the only one. You know, I also like am not really technically very versed, so I'm already struggling with the editing on some of my vids, and yeah, I can understand that. So I admire anyone who's actually able to do such editing like we have seen here. I would probably not be able to do that. Well done. Yeah, so it was really a nice bit. I will also post the link when I will post this live stream when it's recorded, and I will post it online. I will also like provide all the links actually to everything which you can see on the screen, and then I will also like provide the link to SnackishRaccoon's YouTube channel, so you can check it out. And please don't forget to subscribe when you are already there, so that would be really helpful. I'm gonna post that on my boomer Facebook page. Yeah, you're not the only who has a Facebook, so not only boomers but Gen X as well. Hey. Yes, and whereas bits are awesome, but they make so sad of what we lost. Yeah, exactly. Good, guys, give me, I need to drink something and I need to clean my nose urgently. So give me just a few seconds. I will be just taking a very, very short break, and then I will be back, okay? So just a short break, please. Good, I'm back. Thank you very much for your patience. I hope you don't mind. It's just, awful. I think I'm already starting to have like a red nose. Apologies for that. SnackishRaccoon, as for the people calling every one of us who criticize the game a grifter, some sort of phobic, etc., they are so annoying. I do have to concede that some of the criticisms were just hate, but there was... Let me just scroll. Okay, probably you are typing. Yeah, I mean... There were people who were really like just bashing the game non-stop. And basically without like saying exactly what they don't like, they were just in general criticizing the game because it was like woke. I do admit I rather agree with people who are criticizing the game. I did as well myself, but with those who actually have like some good valid points, I think that's why also we or some of us, I know John as well, you and also me, that's why we like, for example, to watch Nure, because she did have valid points, even though she was like cursing and she was really like unhappy about the game. But she did have some valid points, and she also mentioned every time when she was criticizing something why she's criticizing it. So I think that's the that's rather the type of people which I'm also watching, and which I also think that had like some valid points. And I can understand that, yeah, there were really some people who were only like hating on the game because everybody else did, but didn't really have like any good points to say. So yeah, I get that the people, let's say, on the other side were not so happy seeing that. But on the other hand, like again, saying because of a couple of people who were behaving like that, saying that everybody who's criticizing the game is a grifter, I think that was what was pissing the most people off, actually, because many of the people who were criticizing the game with some valid points were people who were longtime fans of the series and of the games, and were really people who were playing the original games, Dragon Age Origins, the DA2, and they were really waiting like for this game to come out for 10 years. And to tell those people that they are grifters, just because somebody has a valid criticism, that's again like what I call toxic positivity, and that's just the other side of that spectrum, which is like the complete extreme opposite, and neither of that is good, I think. So yeah. There was plenty of objective criticism as well, which was ignored because they just said we all thought like that. Sorry. They just said we are all like that loud minority who was hating for the sake of hating. But the rest of us who came forward with valid critiques were all ignored, and that's what's really annoying. Exactly, that's what I just said. Like, because a couple of people really like having nothing good to say, or no like logical points why they are criticizing, then everybody else's critique was also like, it's just people hating because they want to hate. Yeah. It really hurts because we're old fans. Yeah, exactly what I said. Yeah. John is writing, Nura really set the fires of revolt. Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, she did say out loud and without the filter what many people were thinking. Yeah. I was trying to be a little bit more polite, let's say, in my approach. I mean, it's not that I wouldn't think the same, but in general, it's exactly when you start to curse a lot, people will stop listening, even if you have some valid points to say. And if you want the opposite side to listen to you, at least with the intention of discussion or some form of discussion, it's always better to, have like a more calmer tone, I would say. I tried this from the beginning, and I really try to be like more objective and also see the other side, but it's just not possible with these people. It's just not possible, as you could see with so many of them, the way how they reacted, and also like they are still continuing to react like that to this day. So everybody who's having anything negative to say, it's just a hater and grifter, and yeah. It doesn't matter that the people who currently love the game are, you know, such a small minority, and the majority of the people have already moved on. Most of the people have already moved on and just don't care about the game anymore. But yeah, we're all the haters and the hateful minority in their minds. So yeah, I don't get that. Yeah. What about the Exodus? I'm a bit worried about that too after your screenshots. Yeah, that would be my next topic that I wanted to discuss. Let me go back to the desktop. That should be it. And let me go to the next one, which is... yeah, we've got something new from Exodus. Like, they did post a new chapter, I would say, in their news section. It is... an article, and I think it's like an excerpt, like if it would be from a book or from a storybook, and you can read a little bit about how the humans that have arrived in the Exodus cluster, how they have found certain planets and why they decided not to settle on some of the planets. And this is like a very creepy one. It's good to read. It's called this Dig Deep. I will post the link as well, but you can find it on their page, but I will also post the link. So it's basically a nice description of how they found, you know, a world that where one of the civilizations, previous civilizations, has been dead due to a war or an attack. And then underneath that, like, top layer, on the surface, they found another one. So a different, like, species or different civilizations before was in the next level. And then underneath that level, there was obviously another one and another one. And basically they realized that there were so many, like, civilizations that they have already died on that planet for whatever reason, that they, in the end, like, they were so creeped out of what they found that they just said, okay, no, we will not settle on this planet. It's very well written, to be honest. So yeah, go and read that one. And before I go into that discussion, which you mentioned, SnackishRaccoon, regarding the screenshots. Yeah, let me just show you one thing, because I was wondering about the book. I did order it, and I want to show you something. So the normal standard paperback, which is coming like in the books in the normal standard paperback. Let me just switch so I can see myself on the screen. They are about this size. This is from Salvatore. I'm not sure if you can see it. Let me just go a little bit further. So they are about, yeah, if I put it next to my head, they are about this big. Okay, that's the normal standard paperback, right? Then you have mass market paperbacks, which are smaller. Those are meant to be like carried in a bag, etc. when you are traveling somewhere. So this is the mass market paperback. Let me just move it here. So you can see it's smaller in size. It's very hard to position. So it's very, like, it's smaller, okay? That's by the way, that's the Witcher, okay? So that's the mass market paperback, which is relatively small compared to the normal standard paperback. And that's the standard paperback. This is from Salvatore, as you can see. This is about as thick as they usually come. So most of the paperbacks I have are about this size, right? This is Exodus. Okay, I hope you can see that. Let me go even further. So this is the Exodus book. And if you look at it this way, guys, I'm in chapter 2. Okay. It's bigger as my head. It's bigger than my head. So yeah, it's a huge book. It's a huge book. Okay. I have started to read it. I just wanted to show you the books for comparison, because when it arrived and I was unpacking it, I almost fell from my chair. Like, come on, are you serious? It's a monster. Okay, I don't know when I'm finished reading this. This is just like, you can see where my bookmark is. That's chapter 2. Okay, yeah. And it has like, what, 900 pages or something. Yeah. But what's good, at the beginning of the book, you can see there is a timeline again. It's the same. It's not. It's similar to what we can see on the page from the game devs, but it is not exactly the same because I think there's more information. So just FYI. So there is a timeline. I'm not sure if you can see that. Probably not because of the light. It's quite glaring. So that's what it looks like. And then there is also a couple of pages which are introducing the people who will be in the book. And it's thankfully not so many, so I think I will be able to remember them. But it's good that you have something in the beginning of the book to which you can go back to, whether it's the timeline or the people, because in the beginning you are getting a ton of information. So it's really... it's not like a huge info drop, not that you are bombarded with the info in a negative way. It's nicely woven into dialogues and into like descriptions of what's happening. So you're getting a lot of info, but in a very nice way. So yeah, it's not bad. Like I said, I'm in the chapter 2. So far, it's been really interesting. So yeah, this book is about the Crown Celestials. And as we have heard from the Archetype Entertainment people, they have said that the game will not be taking exactly, the place will not be exactly in the same spot. So we'll probably have outside of this Crown Dominion, the game. But I do find it very interesting what I'm reading so far, because you have the description of like different types of celestials and why these crown celestials are like so important, or why they are so feared. Basically, they like learned how to transfer their minds to the next generation. So basically, it's one and the same mind, which is like transferring into the next body and into the next body, and that's why they live like for thousands of years. So yeah. There's no surprise for me then why they are so advanced, to be honest. So yeah, so far it looks really interesting. I like how it's written, to be honest. I really like the dialogues and the what's happening here. So if you are thinking about buying the book, I would advise you to do that, but keep in mind it's it's a really huge book. So yeah, I think it would be a nice Christmas gift if you know of somebody who likes sci-fis. Okay, let me go back a little bit to the discussion that I see going on here. And where were we? Yes, I always say that we need to keep calm and fight against this with logic and not feelings, because then that crowd calls us some sort of, phobia, right, or phobes, yeah, and ignore us, yeah. But I also understand people who get emotional over this because these are beloved franchises. That's the problem, that people were waiting so long, and people have been some people have been like growing up with that franchise. I think that's why it hurts even more. I've come to get to know these games when I was already an adult. I did probably see it a little bit differently than when somebody was playing the games as a teenager and basically grew up with them. So they have a different emotional connection, like you're writing with that games, and it's even more frustrating probably for them to see what happened to the franchise. So yeah, on one hand I am optimistic because this is the original Mass Effect team. On the other hand, however, this is 2024 and all companies have to comply by ESG criteria. So yeah, I only got mad when those silly children tried to tear down Origins to hype Veilguard. That's from John, and I completely agree with you. I mean, that's the typical marketing that we see these days whenever you see also like a remake maybe for a movie or something where they completely like change the story sometimes, and they just say, you know, oh, what was there, the old stuff was bad. Come on, yeah, everything that's old is bad and we just have to remake everything new. Usually it's much worse than the original. So yeah, I agree with you on that one. Yeah. Yeah, Tekla is writing, also a lot of normies are waking up to stuff like the high hiders and generally aren't so reluctant to speak when Orange Man got elected. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I'm not sure about the art style of Exodus, but it might be just me getting old and out of touch. They are trying to be as realistic as possible. They are doing this, they are running this on Unreal 5. So I would expect it to be as realistic as possible. I mean, you could see it in the vids that they have released already so far, from when you see the close-ups. You can even see like the skin pores and everything. So yeah, they are trying to be like very realistic here. I would say from a visual perspective, I like the what I've seen from Exodus, to be honest. SnackishRaccoon, or I want the book as well. I am just afraid I'll get my hopes up, and once the game is out, they will let me down. Look, I already said that as well, but regardless of how the game ends, it is only intersecting with the book, as I understood minimally. So the book gives you an understanding of the universe in which the game will be set in, and some of the probably they will mention some of the characters from the books in the game, but they will not really have an impact on that. So I would see the book relatively separate from the game, and I would say if the book is good, regardless of how the game ends up, I will still read it, because if you have a good sci-fi book, it's always worth to read, regardless whether the following game is good or not. So yeah, I will still read it. I like it so far, to be honest. Yeah. John is writing, I've been tossed from Discord and chats because I refuse to use the woke pronouns. Yeah, in the same boat here with you. And I have to say, thankfully, here in Slovakia, where I live, this nonsense is not being implemented. I don't even think it has yet arrived. And even if it does, most people will probably have a good laugh, because we have a gendered language. I mean, all the Slavic languages are, and some like different pronouns than the normal ones, or the ones that are common, are not possible. Or you have oftentimes like the gender already incorporated in the word itself. So how would you want to change the word? You would have to take out part of the word and change it into like something different, and it just wouldn't make sense. It would be like complete nonsense. I don't even know how to describe it to you. Like, yeah, it's just not possible for me to even, I will think about some example maybe, but the words themselves for, I don't know, table, that's already like having its own gender. And if you would want to express it in a different gender that it has, you would have to basically invent a new word. So it would be complete nonsense for anybody who speaks the language, right? So you cannot simply change genders. And for people as well, like a woman is a she, a man will always be a he. There is no, like, you cannot change it, because again, you would just say nonsense, and most people will just say, okay, if they would hear something like that, yeah, either that's a person who doesn't speak the language well, so yeah, poor foreigner, let me correct the foreigner, and then they would non-stop correct you to actually use the correct, grammatically correct pronoun, or they would think that you have some problem, right? And you cannot really use like a different pronoun for male and female, like for a single person. We have one which is basically like a very polite way of when you meet someone who's like a stranger to you and you want to be polite, then we say you in plural. So you are, I don't know, good looking today, and you are using it you in plural. There is no distinguishing in English. It's very hard to for you to get the difference, but for us it's you hear it immediately. Okay, there's somebody who's trying to be polite to someone, and it's normal and common, for example, when you are talking, I don't know, student to a teacher, or younger people to older people, right? So if you're talking to some elderly people, you are using the word you in the plural form, but that's an established cultural and grammatical form which is being used, and that's the only plural you can use for a single person. Well, you cannot use they them. That's absolute nonsense. The moment you would start to use they them for a single person, most people would look at you like, what the hell are you talking about? So in some languages it's just not possible to implement this because it just doesn't make sense grammatically. It doesn't make sense. So I'm always having a good laugh when I see, and I'm not even talking about these neo pronouns like sie, them, their, whatever. You can only do that in English. The moment you would meet somebody who's not English and you would try to implement this in a different language, the people would probably tell you, yeah, you know what, go back to the mental asylum where you came from. So yeah, that would be probably the reaction of the people here. I know it's in Western Europe it's a little bit different, but in Central and Eastern Europe most of the people are looking at this what the hell nonsense is this, and they are just thinking, okay, yeah. So there's a lot of, let's say, common sense here still in this country, even though we have the politicians that we have, but let me not go into that one. That would be a separate topic. But yeah, in general, the woke crap, that's not flying here. That's something that most people will tell you, go to hell, you're not going to tell me what I can and cannot say. So yeah, it's I feel sorry for this happening actually in the West, to be honest. And I am surprised myself. I did not think, if you would ask me 30 years ago, I would not think that I will be starting to distinguish myself from the West in this way. Because we used to say for many years, hey, we belong to Europe, we are Europeans as well. And yeah, we are just all in the same boat, and now most of us are saying, nah, you know what, let the West be West, and let's just take a step back, and we're Central and Eastern Europeans, you know. So it's this kind of distinguishing starts to be back, and I'm not really happy about it, but it's simply because we are saying the nonsense that's going on in the West. So yeah. Some of my musings would be a separate topic for a longer discussion, to be honest. Yeah, John is writing, got banned for calling OnlyFans creators tots. But you are right, come on. So for tots. Okay, yeah, I see the discussion is great. SnackishRaccoon, I had a Reddit account with 2 million karma, and I used to laugh and make memes with others, but then started getting banned from all subreddits because some of my memes made fun of the Vogue left. You stepped on somebody's toes, come on. When I asked for the reason my ban, I was left on red by most Vogue mods on there. Yeah. They will never give you an answer, straight answer why. Because technically, I don't even think that you are breaking any rules. It's just that they don't like that people are speaking out against the nonsense, but it's not necessarily against the rules, so they will rather not reply. Yeah, it's all about control on Reddit. I've never been there for anything other than Souls games, but I believe every Reddit story I hear. Yeah, I am on Reddit as well, but I am basically there just to see, you know, if there is a discussion related maybe to some mods. There's often some discussions about good mods, for example, or, you know, about some new games that are coming out and stuff like that. So I also not necessarily exchange that many thoughts, I would say. Or if somebody asks a question, I'm trying to be helpful. But let's say in very general gameplay stuff, not necessarily this woke nonsense. So yeah. I'll definitely get the book. Good. Let me know, Raccoon, how you like it when you get it. Yeah, the reason is always you're a phobic or ist. Yes, exactly. It's like the Latinx nonsense. Exactly. Yeah. So also all the Roman languages like French and Spanish and Italian, it's all gendered as well. I mean, German as well, that's gendered. You cannot simply start to apply new genders there. It will not work, right? Most people will, nobody will change the entire language for some new nonsense. Nobody's going to do that. Yeah. Yeah, John is writing, it's retarded for gendered languages. Exactly. It just doesn't make sense. Good God, don't even get me started on this coerced speech thing. I have studied linguistics actually, and I am planning on making a video about how all this forced speech is much more sinister than okay, you didn't finish the thought, but I can see most of this type of woke people are on a power trip. Yes, exactly. Tekla, interesting. In Polish, using you in plural form sounds like a commie speak. You've done well, comrade. Yeah, fits the wokies. It's still very common in Slovakia, actually. So it's really like the polite form. Many people are actually being angry because nowadays the younger generations are so used to these kind of discussions that are online, and they are so involved in all the social media, not like the older generations. And I do count already like my generation or Gen X to the older ones. They are used to like you in singular form. And it's mostly like commonly used also on social media, and also in Slovak, for example, or in Czech, I have seen that. But it's not positively perceived by the older people or the older generations because they find it extremely rude. And to be honest, I am the same as well. Like if I meet someone new, now let's talk in real life, right? Not on social media, I don't care. But if I meet like somebody new, or I don't know, somebody on the street asks you, what time is it? If they are just using you in singular form, I'm quite pissed because it's quite rude. It's still perceived as very rude to talk to strangers, to some stranger with you in singular form. So it's still very common to use the you in plural form because simply it's very polite, and you don't want to be rude to strangers. Most people are trying to be polite. So yeah, it's we still do distinguish it a lot, to be honest. Yeah, SnackishRaccoon, I always show my mom what's happening over in the US with all this woke shit, and my mom always thinks I am joking when I tell her that they said men can get pregnant, for example. Yeah, I think most people in the, let's say, more traditional countries think that the people over there sometimes don't know what to do with their time if they are inventing this kind of nonsense. Thankfully, it's not all of the people. It's the problem that most of these people who are having these kind of weird ideas are the ones that are screaming the loudest, and that's exactly what's being then pushed out also to the social media. And then somebody from the other side of the world, when they are looking at what's going on in other countries and they open social media, what do they see? This kind of nonsense. Yeah, so yeah, it's not exactly the best perception that people have sometimes. Tekla, hope he manages to take away funding for DEI at the university so no one gets like 3 points and a leg up pursuing a degree. You mean Trump? Yeah. I think what baffled me the most was when I heard the first time like that some universities have like gender studies, and at first I thought it's a joke. I seriously thought that this must be some kind of joke, and they really can graduate in that. So I couldn't believe it when I heard it the first time. Like, come on, how can you have nonsense like that? So yeah. I really hope that this thing is like dying out because, yeah, it's just crazy. Yeah. SnackishRaccoon, she's a Gen Xer like you, Sisa, and it's true older generations do and will not put up with this. Yeah, we don't, and especially I think Gen Xers are like, we are really the whatever generation. Like we don't care, just don't try to push some nonsense on us because we will send you to hell. So yeah, I don't think we like this crap. They wanted to call mother's birth-giving person. Yeah, oh come on. Some unis here tossed out test scores. Are you serious? So they're like how do they know if the people like do well and if they have the necessary knowledge to graduate if they do not do tests or okay, I don't want to know. Okay, I don't want to know. Good. Let's go back a little bit maybe to the Exodus, because that's where we come back again to this like woke nonsense. I'm not sure. Some of you are probably on the Twitter or X pages and have probably noticed that we did have an information. I'm not sure if you're aware of the channel from Spell and Shield. It's a gentleman that has really very good wits. I really like his takes, and also he did a couple of bits on Veilguard and was also critical, but again in this like very great way, like where he really expressed in detail what's wrong with the game and why he doesn't like it and why he's criticizing it. And he also made a vid, just like I did, on the council, on the community council that BioWare was listening to. And one of the people on the council was Kala Elizabeth. I do not really want to get that personal, or at least I tried not to get that personal before, because I will reiterate that I do like some of her vids where she has made, for example, lore vids about Mass Effect and discussions about like the potential next game, etc. She has good takes on some of the stuff. The problem is what I see from like her personal side. So I was watching her vids on YouTube for quite some time. And then I followed her on Twitter back when she was on Twitter, and I started to see a different side. And what was really not so great was when I was seeing that basically she was posting stuff for her followers. Like if you see somebody who's like one of these anti-Vogue grifters, block them and report them, and they are just bigots. And if you say that they have valid criticism, you are also a bigot. So it was really awful to read, to be honest. There were a couple of other things that happened as well. I did see, I don't have screenshots of that. I was right away, but I did see that, and I was not really fond of that. There was a person on YouTube who posted once in a comment section on a YouTube vid that she was looking at Kala Elizabeth's tweets, and that some of those tweets were really unhinged. And she mentioned that in a YouTube comment. And what happened from Kala Elizabeth was that she made a screenshot of that YouTube comment, including that handle, YouTube handle and everything, and posted it on her Twitter again, and then just like for her followers, like, look, like what people like this are writing, and yes, this is the bigots that I'm talking about, and then etc. etc. You can imagine when she posted for her followers, she has thousands of followers. When she posts somebody like with the screenshot with the handle, what will happen? I do not want to know how much the people have then bothered, like Kala's followers must have bothered that person, because after a while I couldn't find even the handle anymore on YouTube, so I'm not sure what happened. But yeah, I can imagine. And this is the thing that is then making me quite angry, because if you are a content creator, you can have your own personal views, which might not align with your followers or not align with some other people. You can post them on Twitter as much as you want to. You should always state it's your personal opinion, and this is where it should end. But the moment you are starting basically to incite your followers to like do certain actions, and then you post like people with their handles, that's toxic. And I really don't like this kind of behavior. So that's why I was already then also speaking out openly against her, because this is also something where I was discussing here in one of the threads with one of the people. There was another occasion where there was an artist who posted some picture. And again, she was like criticizing that person. And basically she was trying to like cancel the person on that site. And I was asking who was that artist, and I've got a message on Twitter where I've got some screenshots where it was visible like what was going on, and the debate was there. And again, so this is not like a singular instance where she tried to like cancel or block somebody just because they had a different view like her. And that's basically what happened as well with Exodus and with the Exodus Discord server. It's not official yet. There was another discussion or another chat. They are trying to make the server official. And it's not yet. And Spell and Shield was there. And they preemptively blocked him, and they denied him access because Kala said he's toxic. Of course, he wrote as well then she did it in a way where nobody could really like point the finger to her. I do not wonder that that's the typical way how these toxic woke people behave. But I think it's just another instance that shows you what kind of person we are dealing with. And unfortunately, there's like followers behind this person who are listening to basically every word that she says. And it's having a very negative impact on a lot of people, and now it's also having already a negative impact on that Discord server. And if there is the same bunch on the Discord server and ends up being the same bunch that we have seen with BioWare, then I don't think that it will be like very good for the game or for the studio. And as you can see, Archetype Entertainment was basically in the loop on this entire discussion. There were screenshots exchanged which basically confirmed what we are saying, or what I'm saying now as well. What kind of toxic behavior we are talking about, and like preemptively blocking people. And more people were asking like here, for example, yeah, we want to hear from you, Archetype Entertainment. If that's the kind of fans you listen to, I don't think this will look good for you. There was no reaction. I have to say one thing from my point of view. The two main people behind the game now, which are Robinson and Olen, they are not reacting, but also they are not yet, for example, on Blue Sky. They are not. I don't think that they want to get mixed into this thing that's running in the background, which I completely understand. They are trying to focus on the game, and I think, at least that's my impression, they are trying to make a game that will be appealing to everyone. They do not want to be, let's say, in this culture war. Problem is, though, that you have already Drew Karpyshyn, who's the main writer, who switched from X to Blue Sky, and basically he just confirmed he's out because X is toxic, and he went to Blue Sky, which is, yeah, basically for the woke people. And then I also found 2 more people who are working for the studio there on Blue Sky. I don't know. I mean, there are more people working on the game, and the vast majority of the people, I couldn't find them, whether it's Blue Sky or whether it's Twitter. So I do think they really just like want to keep out of the social media, and they just want to focus on the stuff that they are doing. I would not necessarily see it so negatively. But it is something to keep in mind because there is this stuff going on in the background. And let me just maybe switch. I did provide some additional info here, and that's like my summary, as you can see, which basically says exactly like what I think about this. And yeah, it's just something to keep in mind. So let me switch so I can see your comments, because I think you did write something. I will for a moment turn off my microphone because I need to clean my nose again, unfortunately. Just a sec. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, apologies. Yeah. And let me go back. There's a ton of comments. Guys, I have to say, I love this stream, honestly. I haven't even noticed how the time flies. It's really so great because we have such a good discussion. I like that. Thank you. I mean, this is really great. Yeah, we got sidetracked. We are the generations that believe the evidence of our own eyes. I agree, John. Yeah. Spell and Shield did some good bits. Yeah. He's good. I found him recently. That's from Tekla. Yeah. I'm already a subscriber here. Kala has me blocked on YouTube. I can't even see her posts. Yeah, that's the point. Like I did... I was watching her vids and I was like watching her Twitter posts as well when she was on Twitter. I never said a single word to her like in a bad way. I never like said anything about her vids. I really usually gave her likes. Some of her vids are great, or I gave her a good comment, and never basically did anything to her. If I did something, like it was after she blocked me. So basically the only thing that I did was being critical of Dragon Age the Veilguard before it came out. So I did a couple of vids. I was quite negative about it. You have probably seen them. And I really was very disappointed with what I have seen. The first vids, when you look at the first vids that I've made, I was still kind of hopeful, although I have seen, okay, there's something going wrong, but I was still hoping, okay, there might be something good in the game. And then the more info we got, the worse it got, and the more I was also criticizing the game. So you can see it in the vids as well. And I guess that was the only reason why she has blocked me, because until that point, until she blocked me, I actually really didn't say or do anything against her personally. I was just criticizing the game, right? And then I wanted to check on some of her posts, and I found out, hey, I'm blocked. Like, it's the same like you're saying. She must have really like made the effort and go and block manually every single person who has made a critical vid about Veilguard. That says a lot. I mean, that's a very fragile state of mind, if I say it this way. I mean, I would never waste my time on blocking everyone who has a critical opinion on something that I like. I mean, they can have that opinion. I can just mute them, or I can ignore them and just, like scroll on by and go to the next topic. But I don't make the effort to go and block every single person that has never interacted with me, but I seek them out and block them. I mean, that's sick. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Told her that her progressive train is going pretty fast and has no safety brakes. Oh, God. Oh, you didn't. Come on. Okay. That was a good one. I like that. Okay, SnackishRaccoon. Kala sold us out. I used to follow her. Lady Insanity as well. Yeah, I know. Another sellout. That's the same. Gilded Hallen sold us out as well. And Mr. Holton, who remained objecting and thus was not given a review code. Exactly. That's exactly I was following them. I mean, I did follow a lot of these people under my like private handle. Yeah, I have like Chatty Sisa established only last year in summer, but hey, I am older than Google, right? So I really have like very old accounts on most of the social media, and I was following a lot of these people already like privately before. And like you say, they just like, for me, they just became sellouts. They just promote BioWare because they got paid, and obviously they've gained a lot of perks. And I don't think I've seen more toxic shills than them in the last couple of weeks and months, to be honest. I mean, they didn't used to be like that, but yeah, unfortunately, it's happening. There is one of the cats behind me. There's a cat behind me, as you can see. Yeah, that's the youngest one. John already knows that one. I just take joy in the fact that our accounts are forever linked on YouTube. Yes. Okay, let me just scroll a little bit. Yeah, Snackish, my son who bought me Origins years ago, really liked your vid. Okay. Sisa, you managed to give Andromeda a fair shake. Yeah, I honestly, I can't say it was a bad game. Sure, there were like points where I was like, oh, come on, especially in some of the dialogues. Sometimes the writing was a little bit weird, and at the end, some of the stuff was a little bit disappointing. I did actually a good summary somewhere, I think in a written form. I would have to pull it out. But for me, because I did install a lot of mods, so I basically didn't have the same bugs, and I didn't have the same like weird facial animations as the people that experienced the game when it came out. I am definitely aware that it was much worse when it came out than it is right now. It was also patched a little bit in the meantime. So my experience wasn't so bad as probably with the people who bought the game back then. But it was not really, for me, it wasn't really a worthy successor to the trilogy. You could already see that it is about something else, and I think you have also mentioned this. It was clearly meant for like younger audiences, which isn't necessarily bad, but it used to be like a mature game with a mature tone. I know I'm repeating myself often with this word, whether it's in my vids or on X, but it is something where, a lot of gamers are now in their, like the older ones who started with RPGs are in their 30s, 40s. They are expecting a certain level of like mature writing and a mature story and mature interactions between characters. Now, if you want to try to write something that is like more appealing to the younger generations, I don't think that even the younger ones, if they want to have like a mature game, that they are fond of seeing dialogues or storylines which remind them of high school. I don't think they want this as well, right? They also want to like have a good written story which like has some deep thought behind it and makes you think about certain things and brings up certain conflicts. So it doesn't matter whether you are young or old. We all appreciate good writing, and the writing wasn't so great in the game, to be honest. Yeah, there were moments where it was fun, but then there were moments where I was like, oh yeah, it wasn't so great. So but in general, I would say I would give the game maybe a 7 or a 7.5, just because with all the mods and with all the patches that they done in the meantime, it wasn't bad. It wasn't so bad, right? If I would have to start to play the game again right now, I would probably leave out all the unnecessary driving around and just doing all these side quests, because it was endless. It was really endless, and at a certain point it was just tedious. So I think the open worlds were that was too much. Yeah, so that was like the downside, the big downside for me. Yeah. Yeah, SnackishRaccoon, glad that your son liked the video as well. Also, you are such a cool mom to be playing video games. My mom cannot. She gets dizzy, so I just play in the living room, and she would watch the story like a movie. Well, it's not bad as well. Like if you have a good story and she's willing to watch. My mom, who's like in her late 70s, she's playing games as well, although for another reason. She's having the onset of Alzheimer's, and the doctor told us that it's good like to keep her like mentally fit, and to try to introduce her maybe to some games where she has to like solve either puzzles or some like logical problems. So I've taught her to play a couple of like these kind of games, you know, puzzles and stuff like that, and she was able like to learn to work with a laptop and everything, which in her age was like, oof. And she's also not really very technically versed, but I think it helps like with the cognitive decline. So I think games are actually quite positive for the older folks, to be honest. Yeah, so just FYI. John is writing, when my kids were little, they watched me play Tomb Raider. They laughed at my many failing deaths. Yes. Yeah. Even as older 20s people don't want HS level dialogues. Yeah, high school. Yeah, and to think the dialogues were written by full-grown adults. Yeah, that was what was like so weird for me, right? So you have really like adult people who are writing these kind of dialogues. I don't know. Like, I don't know what to think of it. Like, if they really thought that the younger people are talking this way, or if they like themselves think this way, and I don't know what's scarier. Andromeda was a hailstorm of fetch quest, yes, yeah, and especially when you were like driving around. What I was a little bit annoyed with was that you had the enemies so close by, so when you had a stretch over the road, you could see already your next 2-3 enemies, and then you just cleaned out the camp and you moved to the next camp, and you just turned around and the enemies have already respawned in the camp that you have just cleaned out. And for me it was just frustrating, because I thought at the end, like, it makes no sense, they are respawning so fast. Yeah, I just drove through in a straight line in the end, and I was just completely ignoring them. Yeah, it was too much. Yeah. Good. Let me go back, because we still have a couple of topics. I wanted to highlight, if you are interested in city builders, I'm not sure if some of you like city builder games. I have already made a little promo here as well for this one. It's called Pompeii the Legacy. You can find it as well in the previous vids which I did, and in the previous Chatty Fridays. There is a new update, and I really have to say I like it, even though it's a city builder, so you will see the city like from very far up, but the level of details even on the characters. So Željko, who's the guy who's creating the game, has posted this, and if you just look at the details, it's just awesome. I mean, I was surprised. I hope you can see that. Yeah, I am sharing. So I really like the details on the clothing. So I'm really looking forward to this one. I like city builders, to be honest, as well, next to RPG. So I do play more games or types of games. And then there is this one, and I'm so this is one of the things that's bothering me, because I didn't really have that much time. I wanted to play at least the demo for this Scarlet Deer Inn. I have already introduced it the last time as well, and I really wanted to play the demo, and I didn't find the time. So I'm really hoping to have some time to play at least the demo to show you the game and show you how it is. But if you have some time in the meantime, check it out, because this is this lady is, I think, from the Czech Republic, and so it's basically the neighbor here. And I really like how she did the game. So the characters are all embroidered, like physically embroidered. It must have been a ton of work. So I really admire the dedication that went into this game. So that's what I wanted to mention. Then Christmas gifts. I think some of you already know her. If you don't know her, there's an Italian lady, Azzurra. She's mainly in the Lord of the Rings fandom, but she's an artist basically, and she's creating like handmade gifts. And I did check out her Etsy shop. I have it also like on my Twitter pages. I did some promo for her, and I will also post the link now in the description when I post this vid. Check out her shop, because if you would like to, like, if you know somebody who's also like a Lord of the Rings nerd and Tolkien nerd, she's having really nice stuff there, and it's all like handmade, so it's really worth it. And I think it's a unique Christmas gift, so just an idea, maybe if you don't know her, it might be worth. And then to the woke topic and to the nonsense that's going on in the world, I wanted to show you this. This was posted by the Critical Drinker, whom I'm watching as well, because he's having really like good reviews, movie reviews and TV show reviews. I really like his takes. But this is an older post, like this is from 2022, I think. But is it time we ditch the word gardening? The term might seem inoffensive, but it's loaded with cultural baggage. I think this is like one of those headlines where you take a step back and tell you, okay, yeah, the world has really gone nuts. So this is the perfect showcase of what's wrong with this world. So I just wanted to show you this as fun. So yeah, I think this is really completely nuts. We just switch back to the comments. What do we have? John is writing, I am replaying Inquisition again and actually trying to do everything. Instead of, Tekla is writing, instead of letting you empathize with characters, they just make characters tell you what they feel. Exactly. Yeah. It's against every rule of good writing. Exactly. Yeah. Show, don't tell, and they do the exact opposite. They tell you exactly what you're supposed to do, what you're supposed to feel, how you're supposed to perceive this and that. They just basically give you instructions for everything, and nobody likes that, I think. Yeah. John is writing, Scarlet Deer Inn is so unique. Yeah, nice map. Oh wow, the artist is incredible indeed. Yeah, I will try to play the demo and make a vid of it, to be honest, and then I post the vid. Gardening, yeah. Cultural baggage, please. Yeah, keep that in mind. I mean, how odd to write this, to be honest. Like, how do you come up even with this nonsense? I don't understand that. Yeah, I can't even begin to suspect what's wrong with gardening. Exactly. Oh my god, did you see Nure got banned from EA Play for 7 days because she harassed EA partners? Kala strikes again. Jesus, no, seriously. Oh, come on. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, this is just all the, not necessarily just her. It's probably all the shields, including Eddie, because Eddie is like this, special protected kind of person against whom nobody can say anything. I think we all know what Eddie we are talking about, right? So yeah. I think it's like more of these people that are just like this toxic positivity people, and they just get everyone banned who has a critical or negative view. But yeah, getting banned for 7 days because she harassed EA partners, yeah. It tells you a lot, like how they also like protect these shields. Yeah, so nobody of these people can tell me that they are objective in any of their like vids or posts or whatever, because they are not. If they are like EA partners, they are getting like either paid or they having like some perks or bonuses. So yeah, for me they are like paid shields. So yeah, I do not wonder, to be honest. Yeah. Don't say anything against them, because yeah, EA will get you banned, obviously. It's crap. I hope this kind of behavior is something that is going to slowly die out, honestly, because the companies that continue to do that will just in the end go broke. As the saying goes, go woke, go broke. I mean, yeah, her buddy Eddie, yeah. I don't even want to comment anymore. Yeah. One last thing which I have, and that was shortly before the stream actually. I didn't even know, and Sapkowski obviously has written a new book, and I was surprised. So I did open the article here, and it says that there is a next book finished. So it was finished in August this year, and by Sapkowski, and it will be regarding a younger Geralt. So basically, he's writing like a form of prequel, I think, or an unrelated to the series story, but series story, not series. But it's about the younger Geralt, so he's going like a little bit back in time. I think it's also somewhere here mentioned that it should come out in 2025 in some of the countries. If it's not here, then it's here. It's the Redanian intelligence. They have like always the newest updates on The Witcher. And they have written here, yeah, Sapkowski confirms the new Witcher book is finished. And it took him 2 years, give or take. And the book is directly about Geralt. So he doesn't want to say too much. It should be younger Geralt, at least. And I think it's somewhere here in the article. I'm not sure where, but I will post it. Yeah. Oh, that's the Witcher season 4. But there is a mention somewhere here that the book should come out next year. Question is in what languages. So I don't know if it will be available like everywhere. Probably not in the beginning. It will take some time until it gets translated. But yeah, I will definitely keep an eye out for that new book, to be honest, because I have already the previous ones, all of them. I actually had to like buy them all anew because they were already looking like we call it like salad version. So it was like falling apart because I am not a fan of hardcovers. I know it sounds weird, but I actually like the paperbacks. And yeah, if you have a paperback for too many years and read it too many times, then it starts to fall apart. So I had to like rebuy some of the books already again, which I had like the old ones. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this one. Good, let me switch back to the full screen. That's it for all the topics that I had actually. Do them for some additional money, right? And yeah, I hope that now he's like happy with what he's got, to be honest. Young Geralt had an ugly existence. That's from John. Yeah, I'm wondering like what it will be about. SnackishRaccoon, by the way, what are your thoughts on the new Witcher game? Have lost all hope after that ESG initiatives announcement by the new management. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, so far, to be honest, they have like kept in all the games even though if you notice in those games, especially in Witcher 3, there were already like a lot of this like DEI stuff was already implemented there, but it was so small in the story and it really didn't impact the major like characters. It didn't really impact like the setting, the universe, like the universe and the universal setting. I think most people either didn't even notice, or if they have noticed, they didn't really bother with that because it was so like nicely incorporated like flawlessly into the game. But like you are saying, there is this announcement now. They are like going really full ESG, DEI, whatever. And I don't know, if you look at the current people who are there in CDPR, they had also a little bit experience what BioWare had. So I think a lot of the people from the original like writers and the team have left. Some are still there. There are still some veterans, so it's not as bad as with BioWare, but I am, like you, I am very careful. At least in the last few years, what I have seen happening, and especially this year, actually, what I have seen like from the studios that we used to have like good games from, with the newest games and with everything, what I have seen made me very wary and cautious. So I don't know what to think about the game. I will probably follow up on it just to see like what's happening, what they are announcing, but I'm careful. Yeah, I will probably say that this will be one of the games where I will probably just like with Veilguard, I will probably just wait until it's out and then I will see like what's the general reception. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, with Veilguard, you could see that there is something wrong already during the like marketing phase before the game even came out. So I think a lot will be depending on how they market the game as well from CDPR. So I'm going to wait until we know more here, definitely. Yeah. Looks like Warhorse KCD, the only AAA rejecting Vogue. Yeah. There's too many like companies that are still having so much DISG crap involved in the production of their games and in everything that I don't think, considering how long it takes to make a game, how many years this takes, I am not so sure that we will see a change so soon. I think the games that are like relatively short before completion, like this year, next year, that will come out, they will be still full of this crap, to be honest. I don't really have that many hopes that we will see many good games. We will probably see the Korean and the Chinese games, which will be much better and dominating the gaming industry instead of the Western ones. And then probably the change that will happen, if there will be a change happening in the studios and in the gaming world, like a little bit more away from this Vogue crap, it will take some time. And it will take a few years until we get some good games again without this Vogue nonsense. I have to say, I have to call it this way. So I'm still very careful with the games that are announced for the next 2-3 years. We'll see. Yeah. And Cavill quit. Yeah. That's regarding Netflix. I mean, I stopped watching the Netflix show after the first season. I think I have only seen the first episode from season 2, and that's when I just stopped. I think that was with this lesson, the episode with the lesson or something, and I was like, no, this is like too much. I have to say one thing. The first season, I was like 50-50 liking it and not liking it. I liked the parts when they really were sticking to the original story. At that time, I didn't really care that much about like these race swaps, because at least until a certain moment, it was still like well written and it was like sticking to the original like ideas. And I liked how they did the visuals. I will be honest, for me, the best scene was in the first season where Yennefer was trying to escape this killer with that baby, and she was just jumping through the portals. And that was awesome. I really liked that scene. That was really nicely done from a visual perspective. I really loved the season, the first season. But then it started to go downhill. They started to change so much that then it also started to bother me how much they are also changing like the cast compared to how it was originally written. I mean, when they got to Brokilon, I was just like ready to turn the thing off because I was just completely pissed, to be honest. And yeah, there was like I said, like 50-50, and I was just looking forward to this next season to see how it will work out in the next season and what they are going to do, if they come back a little bit more to the original material or if they continue like to deviate from it. And then in season 2, I have just seen they started to go so off the rails that I just like turned off the whole series and never came back to that. So I stopped watching it like at the beginning of season 2. And and for me it was just done. So yeah, I didn't even continue to watch it, to be honest. So I have no clue what happened in the next seasons. SnackishRaccoon, yes, the Western studios deserve everything that's coming to them, unfortunately. Yeah, unfortunately, I say as well, people think that we are like spiteful and hateful because we say, maybe it would be better if they would just go broke. It's not like out of spite or out of hate. It's just simply because we don't want them to create another woke crap. I would, it's exactly this question. I would rather see a studio stop producing anything than producing some woke crap. That's the whole point. Right. So, yeah, I also do not like it. What happened, for example, to BioWare, Zombieware. I would have much preferred it if they would stay this awesome studio that they were, and that if they would continue, just creating great games and keep up the good name that they've built after like over that many years. But after seeing what happened to them and who's in charge now and what they are doing, at this point, I feel absolutely like nothing. I don't care whether the studio exists or not anymore. And like you said, unfortunately, but it is something that they caused themselves, to be honest, in my opinion. Yeah. Tekla writes, I only saw the first one. Yeah, the first season. Yeah. I mean, I have to say I liked some stuff in the first one. I also didn't like some stuff, but for me, that was basically it. Yeah. John is writing, the DEI is all preloaded. Will take a while to get away from it. Yeah, unfortunately. Second season was gross. It is out of disappointment. Exactly, perfectly said. Thank you very much. Okay, guys, that's basically it. What I have prepared. I don't have much, but seeing as I have a ton of topics and it's getting more and more every month, maybe I should do the stream more often, like every 2 weeks probably, or maybe like do an extra stream where there is something like special that will come up. I think we will have the Game Awards coming up in December now, December the 10th, I think it is. I'm not sure if I want to like do anything special with it. I will just probably like watch it and then maybe I will just like make a summary of it. I did last year as well, like a news update, and I just did a summary of it with all of the games that did win. I will probably do it as well this year, but I will not probably stream it. And then I will definitely do one like Christmas stream. So in December, definitely before Christmas. I didn't even look at the calendar. I should have changed it to December. I have a calendar there. So I will definitely look for a feasible date and I will just announce it up front. And I will definitely do a Christmas stream, and maybe we can do like a longer discussion session, not have so many topics. I don't know. Depends on you. Let me know what you would like to see or what you would like to discuss. If you would like to discuss like certain games more, or maybe like some gaming news, let's say, or something else, let me know. I'm open to discuss anything. I mean, we have great interaction here. I'm really enjoying it. Thank you. I can finally talk with like-minded people here. Tekla is writing, I'm listening Kier shared articles about DEI for 1.5 hours at the time at work. It's gonna be a hard battle. We just can't buy almost any games. Yes, but you know what's the good thing? It really is, as many people are saying, I have so many games which are sitting in my library, like older games even, which I haven't even played. For example, I've played Divinity Original Sin and I did a review for that and I love the game. And I have also Divinity Original Sin 2 in my library, like forever already, and I've never played it. So I'll probably play that one as well, So I would love to go back to these older games and maybe play them and like do maybe a playthrough of this as well, like for the first time, even though it's an older game. And I think everybody of us has like some older games in the library which they haven't played yet. Or there are some games which are not even like so promoted. I have one which I actually wanted to show you in one of the streams, or maybe in one of my like update vids. It's called Encodia. I'm not sure if you are aware of that. I wanted to check it out because that one is, again, something completely different. And it looks to be very, very interesting. It's like a robot helping a little girl, I think solving some mystery or something. And it's looking so nice. And I want to play that one as well, for example. So I have so many games, even games like this, not just RPGs. I have so many games like this in my library, and I just never had the time to play them. So I will be honest, even if in the next 2, 3, 4 years, not a single game would come out that I would be willing to buy, I still have a ton of games to play. And I think most of the people, I mean, I'm sure that you have that as well. John is writing, have a great weekend and holiday if you do Thanksgiving. No, we don't have Thanksgiving actually, but see, that's a good point. To all of you who have Thanksgiving, I wish you a nice holiday, and be careful with the turkey. Eat slowly, don't overeat. We'll be here whenever you are back on Sisa. Okay, wow, that's sweet. Thank you. That's from SnackishRaccoon. Divinity is an incredible game. Since you enjoyed the first one, you certainly like this one too. Okay, I'll have to play the second one as well. Yeah, same Divinity 2. Have not played yet. Oh, you haven't 2 as well. Okay, then I might just do that playthrough as well. Okay, but Horizon, it is for me. Seriously, I'm looking forward to this game since March, and I still didn't have the time to play it, and I'm already like frustrated. Like, I want to play it already. I just want to finish so much stuff before that. So yeah, I definitely will have to start playing Horizon Forbidden West. I was really looking forward to the game. So yeah, I will play that one for sure as well. Good. Okay, so yeah, that's it from my side for today. I thank you all. I thank you very much for the interaction and for the comments. It was really great today. I really enjoyed it a lot. Thank you. It was really. I'm humbled. So yeah, I wish you also, like John has said, a great Thanksgiving. I wish you a nice weekend, and thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned and game on.